And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, Tom Vasel here, and today we're going to take a look at two of the team packs for Marvel Dice Masters. We have the Dark X-Men, which are some bad guys and good guys. Not sure why they're called Dark X-Men. And the Uncanny X-Force. X-Force has been a very long-running group that's been in Marvel, but in recent years there's been a meaner, really mean, like kill people type X-Force, and that's what this set's on. So we're going to take a look at these two packs. Here we go. Okay, so on this side we have the Dark X-Men, Uncanny X-Force. On this side we have the Dark X-Men. So we're going to take a look at them one at a time. But before we jump into it, I just want to take a look at the dice. Dice look great. I really like this one here, the Magnet, who is Polaris. That's a cool looking die. All the dice are good. This one here is a little difficult to read. That one there is Sage. Her dice are a little bit hard to read. But other than that, they look fine. So let's move the dice out of the way. And we'll start by taking a look at what I think is clearly the less interesting of the two packs, which is the Dark X-Men, because I really like the Uncanny X-Force. Spoiler. So here we have an ability called Corrupt, where a target player draws 2 dice, puts 1 unused, and returns the rest. It doesn't say you can't play it on yourself, so I figured that could be handy sometime if you want a specific die in the use pile. And maybe there's a setup where you want your opponent to have something in the use pile, or maybe they only have a few dice left in their bag and they're about to draw a big one, and so you're trying to pull that out and get rid of it. I just find this to be a very ho-hum special ability, but it is on a lot of the different characters here. And sure, there is a Dark Beast. When a character die you control uses Corrupt, draw and roll a die. Well, that's cool, so you can set up a little combo, but Infiltrate on the side, on the other side, is pretty neat. When a character dies unblocked, you can return it and do an opponent 1 damage, and he gives your sidekick dice Infiltrate. That's a great card. I love this one. Rogue, I thought it was Angel for a second. Rogue, what a neat thing. Dark Beast also has Infiltrate, and so does Blink. So there's a lot of Infiltrate and Corrupt in this set. Blink, who is in my top favorite characters in the Marvel Universe. When she's blocked, remove her from combat and do a damage, or if she's active, if they move a die, do damage. So that's pretty neat. Mimic is about to win the award for having the most text on his cards that you'll ever see. Hard to read here, but this one's pretty neat. He basically can copy someone else, and if there's more than one, he's +3/+3. Here you're trying to take somebody else out at the same time. You can KO them. Polaris, each player can only use 1 global ability a turn. Great. Is that a big problem? Here, if an opposing action die targets you, you can make a copy of its effect. That I like. Sage, non-psychic dice cost 1 more to field. That's cool. Very annoying to your opponent. Here's another one about global abilities. If it targets an X-Men character, deal 1 damage to that opponent. I like that Sunspot's in the game. And then Thunderbird, you can do damage to a controller when an opposing character die is spun up. But that's such a specific thing. I don't know that I would put this one in decks. All right, well, let's get to the other set here, where we have the X-Force here. And so they have Energize. Now, Energize is a neat thing. It's kind of random, but I still like it. And basically, Energize says when you roll the double energy face, which is 1/3 of the sides, then you use its Energize effects. So for magic, draw and roll a die. Field a sidekick die from your pool. So not only do you have some cool things that you can do with these people, but only 1 out of 6 times are they worthless. If you roll their double one, you can use the energy and they get a special ability. It almost makes them action dice. Action dice cost 2 less to purchase, which is great. Phantom X here, prevent all damage to your character dice. Deal 1 damage to target opponent and re-roll the die. That one's fantastic. As far as I can tell, this one can chain too. Your active character dice get +1/+1. And spin all your active character dice up a level. That's awesome. And if you have an active character with Energize, he's free to field. That's even more awesome. Then there's Domino here. It says, when active, when you roll a die in a double energy face, do a damage to a target opposing character die. That's very similar to Energize. And Deadpool says, if you have a die in a double edge face in your reserve pool, all opposing character dice must block this turn. Which is interesting because I don't normally keep dice. I don't care what side the dice are in my reserve pool, but I guess it matters. This is the first card where I've seen where it mattered. Then there's some normal cards. Phantom X can't be opposed by global abilities. Here, prevent all damage to a character die. When Forge is fielded, draw and roll a die. Really like that one. When Magic's fielded, do a damage for each non-sidekick one you have. You can't roll more than 2 dice. That's great. Sala KOs a sidekick die, or you can KO the lowest purchase cost opposing character die. Really like this one, but you can see there's a big cost difference between 2 and 4. Here, Deadpool can do Overcrush. Forge has Attune. Domino has Fast. And Danny and Cable both have Infiltrate, which is one of my favorite special abilities, where if they're unblocked, you can put them back and only do 1 damage, which is really neat, especially Danny because she costs 2. Cable here does, if he's blocked, his level does damage to each character die that blocks him, so that's pretty neat. And then some more Danny's here. When she's active, name a non-psychic die. If the opponent draws 1 or more of that die, do a damage to that opponent. All these cards are fantastic and fun. Even though I play a lot of Dice Masters, I don't really see what Corrupt is that useful for. I suppose if I compared it to other cards, I could find some sort of meta where it's great for, but nah, I don't know. It's okay. Although there's a lot of cards in that set I do like, so it's still a set I would get. But man, the Uncanny X-Force is probably my favorite team pack so far. I love the Energize abilities. I think they're fantastic, and so many other cards I like. These are ones I'll use all the time. This is the kind of stuff I wanted to see in a bigger set. Like, let's make a set around the Energize things. I think that's really cool and neat. I also like the characters in both these sets. Blink is my favorite character, or one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe, but I like a lot of these characters. Denny Moonstar, and there's I'm excited to see both these characters and these special abilities. Just if you watch my other review today of the X-Men Forever set, you'll see that I was getting kind of ho-hum on sets like this. I feel like they're adding nothing new, but here I think that something added is new, and that's cool, and that's exciting, and that keeps me going. That's what I think about these 2 little mini packs. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower Judgment, Dark X-Men approved. Uncanny X-Force, excellent.